Friends, Miss Natalie here. This video is going to show you how I created this assignment. First of all, I made a new assignment, called it Color and Shape, saved it as a Krita document. I made sure that this was a 1600 by 1600 pixel square. And then I got started with some shape tools. My first shape tool. Oh, before I made it though, I made sure that I created a new vector layer. Got to have that new vector layer. That way, when I make my square, it's a vector square. And that means that I can adjust it and it won't lose crispness. So I've got that. Then I'm going to make a new vector layer because I want my text, which is always a vector thing, to be on a separate layer. So I'm putting in the text box, writing in my text eventually. Here we go. Wow is what it says. Choosing a font. I chose Cooper Black. Choosing a size, the biggest I can, hitting save so I can see how it looks, and then if I like it, I can hit close and then just readjusting it. At this point, I realize that my square isn't very square, and maybe I want it even more vertical. So once I get my wow put in place, I'm going to click on that the vector layer with my square in it and adjust it. And then maybe move my wow a little bit. All right. From there, I'm actually going to use my line tool, believe it or not, in that same vector layer. And I'm creating some lines. I'm going to create 6 sections in this. I thought about trying to use like the poly shape tool, but for this is just, I already have the shape of the square, so I'm just adding lines in it to make what I eventually want in the end. But I'm doing it in the vector um, layer because I want to adjust these lines. Again, and when it's in a vector layer, I can select, use the Edit Shapes tool to move around the nodes, the points of the line, like make sure that nothing sticks out, moving them around. See how that one sticks out a little, and I can adjust it and make sure that it's, there we go. And up at the top, not only did I want to adjust these, but I wanted to turn them into curves. And that's one cool thing that you can do is you can adjust the line and you can basically move the handles, both of them at once. If you click kind of on the center, moving that around. And if you don't click on the center, then you're moving them kind of independently. You can move your handles independently to adjust the shape of the curve. So pull on the line itself to adjust. A lot of adjusting going on. Little adjustments, big adjustments. But the great thing is that you can do this in the vector layer. Lines are crisp, they're clean. You can get them to look like, say, the exact lines you would want if you were drawing them by hand. If you want, you can even do a underlayer where you sketch out your shapes and your lines and your text, and then just do the vector layers on top and delete the sketch layer when you're done. Just like we did with the line drawing. Now, one thing I want to make sure that I do for later is not leave any open bottoms, as it were, on these lines. So I want to make sure that these are not just lines, these are now shapes. I'm creating a shape. Want to make sure that none of those lines stick out when I've got my words there. So checking on that. But I'm working with shapes. I'm using the lines to make shapes, as one can, but this is about shapes. So I am making sure that I've got shapes here. They are bounded. They're not three-dimensional, they're two-dimensional, and they're bound. All right, so now I've got all my shapes, I've got my text. Now I'm going to work with color, and I am creating I'm adding a colorized mask. Then I'm clicking on that colorized mask tool, and I'm going to choose my color. You can see that when I do that, like the black turns gray, and then I can choose different colors, and I just lay those colors inside those shapes, and the colorize tool will basically fill in the entirety of the shape with the color, which is pretty cool. So I'm just taking one little line here and making it there. So I've got my rainbow coming out for the top of the wow, and I've got my my grays going in. I think I decided that gray wasn't, I didn't like that gray. Did I decide that? No, no, what I decided was, I forgot, I want to make that white in there. All right, and then I click on that tool on the very far right of the Colorize Mask sublayer, and it colorizes it. And then one cool thing you can do is you can go to tool options, and you can click on a color and transparent, and when you click again, it will turn that color transparent, which you can't really see because the background is white, but if I get rid of the background, wow, it's a transparent color. And now I am ready to save my image. And I'm going to save it as a PNG file. That's a PNG file. You can see PNG image, and then it's ready to upload for the assignment. All right, it's your turn.